Hello everybody and welcome back to a new video on my channel. And today we are looking at Fryguy's video, a proper critique of Asphalt Legends. And well, I already made a post yesterday, and if you were online on the official Asphalt Legends Discord server, um over there some shit went down as well, which is in the moment was hilarious, but some of it now in retrospective technically went a little bit too far. But I have a headache and I'm trying to make this video as short as possible, so I will only go into the points he's trying to bring across. I'm not going into his driving style. I'm not going to dig into this guy more than I need to. He already got what he deserved in my opinion. If you just look in the comments of this video, you can see how many people just flame this guy, and on the Discord it wasn't it wasn't anything else, so yeah, good thing. Anyways, let's get started with the video.
A lot of mobile games from back then are still dominating the competition today, one of them being Asphalt Legends, but I was genuinely curious as to why that's the case. It's no secret that most popular mobile racing games are dumpster fires with a shiny bow on top. It's almost like it's mandatory, but this revamp of the latest Asphalt series feels a little different than the rest. I noticed that there were things
Thank you. I can't believe that I'm thanking this guy, but actually making the point clear, Asphalt Legends is different to most of the other racing games in this genre. This is actually one of the good points he brings across in this video. One of the only points I might should add. So plus 1 point for you here, Fryguy. This was the only good point for me that um I was really like, oh, okay. But yeah, from now on it's only going to get worse and worse. Um, and in my opinion, you made this point not even knowing what you were saying, because later on you will say things that contradict your statement right here, in my opinion. So, but when we get there, I'm going to tell you what I mean.
So for those who don't know, Asphalt Legends was previously known as Asphalt 9 Legends. They rebranded
Correct,
due to allowing cross-platform compatibility. They
correct.
also dropped the Unite part at some point, which was a good
Good
move. This
graphics.
rebrand brought some new changes, such as a new interface and graphics. I personally prefer the ones from 9, but my guess for them toning it down is better optimization across.
Yes, I can get behind this point. It's a fair point. I'm not going to argue with it. It's a fair point, and it's your opinion and your taste, whatever.
The car used in the tutorial used to be a LaFerrari, but they swapped it for a Tema Mario, which I honestly prefer. Also,
Game devs, please bring back the LaFerrari.
tutorial says they're in Barcelona, but don't listen to them. It's in Chicago.
I think the Barcelona studio was the developing studio for Asphalt 8 and Asphalt 9. I'm going to say this quite frankly, I don't know. I knew back then that the Barcelona studio was the developing studio for Asphalt 9 and Asphalt 8, but if it is today, I don't know.
Let's start with the layout. This is a nitpick, but the original UI looks better. The new one looks like a concert
Your
stage and
opinion.
doesn't really fit in my opinion. The campaign is split into multiple chapters with each one having multiple modes. They range from class-specific races to certain cars and even car types. Oh, there's also pop-up ads. No, I won't play.
Pop-up ads, I understand that you don't like them. I don't like ads either. I'm going to make this point very clear. I actually hate ads, especially forced ads. The smallest purchase in this game, which you can do for free, by the way, if you collect enough, if you play on Android, for example, you gain Google Play points, and every 100 points you can turn into €1 of Google Play um, money you can spend for free, this €1. So for this €1, you could make an in-game purchase of €1 or 99 cents, And not only would you get the stuff from that offer, but it would remove ads forever, except the ones that you are willing to watch by clicking on things like watch ad for times 20 coins after a race, for example. So it's, yes, I can understand the point, but it's easily fixable if you know how.
Trek Fleet Command. That's for women. At the beginning, you're given an Evo 10 for your first car. I
Okay.
normally get annoyed at not having options for your first, but the Evo 10 is actually swag. And yes, there's a fuel system, but I'll touch on that in a moment. The gameplay is good in some ways and utterly abysmal in others, but first I'll mention the things I like. For starters, I like the sense of speed you can rack up. It's really satisfying to keep a consistent flow while you're bouncing around a track. I also like that being airborne doesn't guarantee a nitro refill like it does in 8. You have to at least spin or barrel roll, which prevents you from cheesing your way to the finish line. Yeah, that's about all I have to say. The rest is just genuinely frustrating. First off, it's way
Um, yeah, we are already coming up to the point where I noticed that this guy made this video for the sake of money. I won't give this guy more attention than he needs. I'm not talking about his abysmal way to the barrel roll jump with the Bugatti, or later on in the video. I'm not going to talk about any of this because he got already taken apart, ripped apart by the community enough for this stuff. And as I said, I have a headache and I don't want to deal with this longer than I have to.
too easy to kill a ton of speed. If you drift, you slow down a lot. If you slightly crash, you slow down a lot. And honestly, this wouldn't be
What do you mean? I didn't think tapping the brake would actually de-accelerate my car, slowing it down to a certain point. Oh my god! Oh, man, use common sense, my guy. Of course, if you tap the brake, go into a drift, or hit a wall, of course you are going to slow down. Because that's how simple physics work. My headache is getting worse because of this guy. I'm about to cry because of my headache. Oh, I shouldn't make this video with a headache. I'm going to throw up after this. I already know it.
much of an issue if the handling wasn't so inconsistent. Some cars have horrendous
The handling is inconsistent because every car is different. Point.
steer while others have a ton of oversteer. I'll hit a drift and some cars will just skid while others overcommit. I assume they added touch drive to mitigate this for new and casual players, but that doesn't negate the fact the physics are hit or miss. I will say
Wrong. Just clearly wrong. The physics are not hit or miss. You are definitely a miss though. I'm sorry. You and your video, you are a abysmal miss. Go back into the abyss, please, and stay where you came from. And yeah, as I already said, with the steering, each car is different, so each car has slightly different physics. And anyways, I don't want to talk about this. Touch drive is in place to make the game fun for casual players. They don't want to look too much into the mechanics or how you have to drive. And many people like me actually use touch drive actually to grind, for example, car hunt events. Because if you have a good enough garage, you can literally collect the races and the rewards from these races for free by just doing AFK strat with the touch drive. Physics hit or miss. Definitely a bad point from you. Minus 100 points.
is the airborne physics are just flat out garbage. You're incredibly stiff, which has caused an irritating amount of out of bounds landings. What's even
Surprise, surprise. A car that is supposed to steer that steer well on the ground can't steer well in the air. Surprise. Obviously, you can steer to a certain extent in the air, but that's a mechanic you are not willing to look into anyways.
Worse is the game has two ways of solving this. If you run into something, you wreck, and if you fly out of bounds, you get teleported back to the track. The fact that touch drive exists lets me know they're aware of their wonky mechanics, so why not just stick to one method for all mistakes? Preferably
Pro literally went out of bounds and reset just to prove his you did you see this? Oh, as I already said with the touch drive, I think it has many purposes. I don't think they added touch drive because they wanted to hide their wonky mechanics. Because most people don't use touch drive, anyways, because of how unoptimized touch drive is. At least in my opinion, you slow down so much in unnecessary points because if you have touch drive enabled. So, but that's another point for another day, and not for this video and my headaches to talk about.
teleporting. There's been so many times where I'm going super fast and don't have enough time to react and end up ramming into something because of it, only for the wreck animation to set me back even further because it's so long. I'm willing to admit part of this can be a
Just restart the race and go on with your life. Don't cry about it, don't be sad about it, don't rage about it. Just go on. Just continue playing as nothing has happened. A wreck is not the worst thing that can happen for you in this game. So it's not worth crying about.
skill issue, but part of it is just terrible physics. I know I said earlier that I liked that you can't cheat
Terrible physics or terrible skill issue on your end?
easier way to victory by earning nitro from just being airborne, but there are times where I'll bump into something or someone right before I go off a ramp and that'll cause me to not spin. It doesn't happen all the
Skill
time, but
issue.
it's annoying when it does. There's also this thing with airborne 360s where you'll land and you'll spin once
Just tap the brake if you land. That's also how you do the so-called tactic called nitro braking or drift braking, whatever. I actually forgot the name. Where you land after a jump, you tap brake and nitro in a fast succession to keep the airspeed boost on ground for a prolonged effect to achieve a faster or a longer time in which you travel at a higher top speed than the car normally is used to. But this speed, even if you do the nitro pegging at almost perfect, the speed will trickle down slowly step by step, and at some point you will end up at the normal top speed. So, but as you said, you are a casual player and you don't. Oh no, wait, that point is coming. I shouldn't talk about this if you didn't say it yet. My bad. But yeah, just tap the brake if you land and the car stops spinning immediately. And you maybe even get a slight speed boost out of it. And if you use nitro, you get definitely a speed boost out of it. Easy thing to fix, just complaining for the sake of complaining.
twice before your car corrects itself. Again, doesn't happen a lot, but it's irritating. It also doesn't help that some maps are difficult to navigate in. In some cases, it's hard to know where to go, which honestly isn't the worst.
You have a fucking map. Use it. Be confusing to new players, but you get used to it in no time. So, not really a point to cry about in my opinion.
Thing in the world if one wreck or slip up didn't completely screw you over. And it's even worse when throughout the tracks there are better routes you can take. I have tons of examples.
Of course, there are multiple routes, and some of them are faster, some of them are slower, some of them don't make a difference compared to each other. Imagine a game has many maps, and on these maps you have many different routes to take. Imagine. And these maps also have many tracks which use different parts of the maps with different parts of routes with different routes and new routes and
Of me crashing or drifting, which caused everybody to blow right past me, only for me to never see them
that was
again.
literally
Now I
just the
assume
issue.
using nitro would help, which in some cases it does, but it's not. I have tons of examples of me crashing.
In terms of this, just stop using nitro, tap for example, I would tap the brake and steer hard left because that would make the left front tire with which you normally steer, surprise, surprise, you would dig into the ground with the tire, which would make the collision, make the code in the game that wants to avoid these kinds of not good collisions would fix this and push you out, fixing your car, and you could drive on normally. So really just a skill issue. on your end, just tap the brake and steer. E- Easiest fix in the world. If this was the most difficult and the most often you saw, why didn't you think for a little second if you could do something to stop this from happening in the first place, and think thought about ways to fix it before, instead of crashing into a wall like you did 5 seconds later?
Or drifting, which caused everybody to blow right past me, only for me to never see them again. Now, I assume using nitro would help, which in some cases it does, but it's not that helpful when I just killed a lot of speed and need to catch up. Which is funny, because Shockwave, the nitro with the most acceleration, is also the one that depletes the quickest. So basically,
That's literally the ideology behind it. Because it's literally a shock wave. A shock wave is, if you look at it in real life, is something that is very fast, but also very short. Fast and short. Simple as that.
cases, if you screw up, your chances of coming back are slim. Which just tells me that there's a massive learning curve to this game, which is fine if there weren't.
Yes, the learning curve is in every game. Just some games have a higher learning curve than others, and Asphalt Legends indeed, or Asphalt 9, has indeed a really big and long learning curve. But if you try to understand what is happening and why it's happening, and how to make it not happen anymore, you will already climb up this learning curve and get better and better. For example, I could give my brother, who has never played Asphalt Legends for a second in his life, I could give him this game on PC with his controller right now, tell him today is day 1, on day 30 we're gonna look at it again, drive this lap with this car right now, reset the lap, and then you practice either this combination or play the game in general for 30 to 60 minutes per day for every day for 30 days. And at the 30th day, we're gonna look at how much you improved from in these 2 times. And this is pretty much the learning curve in a nutshell. You improve over time. I, for example, play for 3+ years on this account now, but obviously play for a lot longer. Something like end of 2018, early 2019, something like that. And I'm still not good at the game. At least not in my opinion. Some people see me as an alien, as a king of the game. Yes, really, I'm not kidding with this. But I don't feel like it. I feel like average, mid, maybe slightly above average. And that's the truth. I'm probably slightly above average compared to the average player base. There are some people that are worse, there are some people that are better. And I'm still learning. I'm still in the learning curve. I'm not on top of it, but I'm also not at the start of it.
So many things that make me not want to even attempt to get good. As I mentioned,
That's your problem. I don't know why you're crying about the learning curve then, if you don't even want to attempt to understand and learn it. I just explained for 2 minutes why it would be good to look at it, but oh well. Someone who's not willing to learn won't learn.
earlier, there's a fuel system, but it's one of the dumbest iterations of one I've ever seen. So the capacities range from 3 to
I'm going to skip this fuel system point actually because I actually don't have an explanation for it. I can't argue with him since I don't have the informations to argue with him. The proper. I have my opinion about the fuel system. I think it's in a place for a reason to stop you from playing for a prolonged time, but there are ways around it. For example, I like to call it the triangle method of using 3 cars with the exact same review time, for example 5 or 15 minutes, and just use one car, let it then fuel up, use the second car, let it fuel up, and use the third car. And while the third car you're using and then letting it fuel up, or by the time it's going into the fuel up time, the first one is going to be refueled, and you can continue this circle or triangle indefinitely. But yeah, for that you would have would have been in need to play this game for a longer time.
So they have to do the crappy thing and adjust it based off of the exclusivity of the car. Matter of fact, let's talk about the cars. You can't buy them with currency and instead can win blueprints through playing the campaign, earning them in special events, or you can flat out buy them, with the cost ranging from $2 to $20 depending on the car. I hate systems like this because it's just very inconvenient for players. Why do I have to earn cars I don't want only for them to become useless after a certain point? And the ones I do want.
Actually, that is a fair point because most of the cars that you're going to unlock, sooner or later you will never use them again. That's actually a fair point. But the progression system is there since you will need these cars to upgrade your garage level to get access to better cars, which then help you reach a even higher garage level car, which would then increase your garage level car, and you understand this circle. Oh no, wait, you didn't because you didn't want to spend time on this game because you were a casual player who didn't care about these deeper mechanics. Did you? Or did you not and now made this video just for the sake of rambling and making money out of it? A point to think about, but you are not ready for that discussion yet, I think.
I can't consistently grind for unless I pay up, which I'm not doing. Also, some of the cars are misplaced, like why is the Ferrari J50 in Class A but the Nissan Leaf is in Class D? They should stop placing
This guy can't be serious. Dude, you have some problems. If my biggest problem was the fact that a Ferrari was in Class A and a Nissan Leaf was in Class D as one of the starter cars, man, I wouldn't have a single worry in this world.
The upgrades aren't the worst thing in the world, just be sure to leave a few to star up in case you get a challenge telling you to do so. I also think it's pretty stupid that you're basically forced to star up your car. I can kinda understand upgrades, but what does changing my color have to do with that? A big aspect of
What do you mean changing your color? I can't follow really with the color thing what he's talking about. That was one of the points in this video that really confused me actually, because these star-ups are there to improve the stats and performance of your car. You can see on the left, if you go back to the Lancer for a second, you can see on the left the white part and then the grayed out part. The white part is the stats that you can have right now with the one-star Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution, and the gray parts, or if you have all three stars collected, these gray parts will be filled off with the white and you will be able to unlock the full potential of this car. But oh wait, you are a casual gamer, you don't want to take time learning the learning curve, and you don't want to take time understanding this game. Right, I shouldn't even explain this to you.
star up your car. I can kinda understand upgrades, but what does changing my color have to do with that? A big aspect of this game is the season pass. If you end up purchasing it, you obviously
The season pass is actually one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best bang for your buck offers in the game. Can't argue with it as well. I regularly buy the Legend Pass, not too often, but sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And for example, if you have the Google Play Games Pass or Play Pass, whatever it's called, you actually get a 50% off discount voucher for Asphalt Legends, with which you can buy this Legends Pass instead of 10 years for only 5 years, giving you even more bang for your buck. Obviously, you then have to complete the season missions to earn the or Ultimate Points or whatever they are called to level up your Legends Pass to get every reward, but oh well. Should I make another? Should I track this? You are a casual gamer any further, or do you understand what I'm trying to say? Yes, I'm trying to say you didn't pay attention to this game at all and just try to make money.
get the rewards from the pass, but you also get things like unlimited fuel. It's just like any other pass.
Wrong, 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 wrong. You don't get unlimited fuel. You get in total 5 extra fuel for every car in game, for as long as the season is going or this Legends Pass is going, or you have activated it. The unlimited fuel is only for career. You should have made it clear. Pro. Should have made it clear because it's listed very clear if you go on buy pass and you go through the list of what you're getting with the pass. There it is unlimited fuel for career or in career mode. So it says that specifically, not unlimited fuel for everything. That's just wrong and goes against the entire fuel concept of this game. But over we are back at the same point as before with the casual gamer.
Where the free version doesn't have as many rewards as the paid one. I think spending money on season passes is stupid, but you do you. At the very least, if you do get it, it's probably worth it. I could talk about multiplayer, but I feel like I need a lot.
Spending on season passes is the dumbest thing, but if you purchase this, it's probably a good bang for your buck. I don't know how to say it in a nice way, but your idiocy pisses me off. At least try to stay on one side of what you're trying to say and not contradict yourself within 5 seconds.
More experience and definitely much better cars before I can dabble into that, but I have no plans on doing so. This game has such an enormous learning curve, but throws in things that make it harder for new players to want to master it. You have to put a lot of time and, if you're willing to, money in order to really get the enjoyment out of this game, but even then it still might not seem worth it for some.
Time, yes. Money, no, not necessarily. You can have a lot of fun with this game on the free-to-play basis. I spend money because I'm willing to do so, and sometimes I just have money and want to buy something. Simple as that. There's never really a reason to buy something in this game. In my opinion, the progression is you're going to get it anyways, sooner or later. The With money, you just speed up the said progress. So the time, yes, time consuming, yes, definitely, but it's worth it in my opinion. But money, hard, no.
It definitely doesn't to me. I'm not even that mad though, because they seem to be doing fine. This game has over 100 million downloads and is still one of the biggest mobile racing games today.
If you are not mad about it, why are you sitting here making a 8 minute and 2 second video for the sake of making cash out of it, ram, rambling on and on and on about how bad this game is, and then just saying, "Oh well, I don't care really. I just made this video because I want money from you guys. I want to rage bait you." Dumbass.
That tells me there's plenty of people who don't mind spending either a little or a lot to progress in this game. Asphalt Legends
A little or a lot of what? Money, time, resources, nerves. Explain yourself.
is a long-term investment, which is cool, but it doesn't mean that the potential fun you can get out of this game is worth relentlessly grinding for. It's completely understandable.
I'd say most of the pro and esports players and players like me who actually have fun playing this game on a relatively good skilled basis, they will disagree with you harshly, I might add.
Have microtransactions, as these games are free, but Asphalt Legends is formulated to heavily favor those who will pay, and as long as they do, I don't see a reason why they shouldn't continue down the path they've been on.
Alright, and that's the video of this game. I actually forgot what he said in the final seconds, so
To progress in this game. Asphalt Legends is a long-term investment, which is cool, but it doesn't mean that the potential fun you can get out of this game is worth relentlessly grinding for. It's completely understandable to have microtransactions, as these games are free, but Asphalt Legends is formulated to heavily favor those who will pay, and as long as they do, I don't see a reason why they shouldn't continue down the path they've been on.
yes and no. Actually, one of the worst points to close off this video in my opinion, but anyways, of course, if you pay a lot of this into this game, for example, hundreds and hundreds of euros, dollars, whatever your currency is, of course you're going to have a better progression and a better in-game feeling than someone who is completely free to play. Of course, Because as I said, paying money only speeds up the progression time, and you unlock it a set car faster than a free-to-play player would. For many Legend Pass cars, for example, the Jag XJR15 which was a Legend Pass car for 2 times in a row, I think, about half a year ago, which I actually have gotten, by the way, and from a spotlight or something, or event. It's going to have a free-to-play available car hunt. So you could get it after all for free, and that proves my point. Yes, you will have to grind for it, but you can get the same progress as a pay-to-win player, just the time is a completely different point. The progression is at the end of the day the same, just you as a free-to-play player take a lot more time to go there than a pay-to-win player ever would. And I'm not saying this because I consider myself a pay-to-win player, because I rarely spend money. At at max, I maybe spend at my peak, maybe 30 euros in a singular month on this game. Some people pay the same amount daily into this game. Just a point to think about. Anyways, I don't want to argue with this guy any longer. Fryguy, reach out to me. I have a challenge for you. I'm giving you every piece of information that you need. I will give you daily basic, daily tutoring, daily help, whatever you need, except money. And I will, we will do a 30 or 60-day training campaign in which on day one, as I said earlier, you will drive a lap, we will take the time and save it, and then on day 30 or day 60, whatever, how long it's going, after I give you the training, after you hopefully actually understand what I'm trying to say to you, and we go with the same car back there and set another time and see just the time difference in this time period of 30 or 60 days, how many seconds or even maybe minutes you could improve. Now, obviously, this will need your work with me and your want to work with me. I don't think you will take this challenge because you said very often you are not willing to spend time, but keep it in mind. Maybe it would be worth. And maybe you could make a video out of it and make actually an actual proper critique of actual Asphalt Legends and not this piece of shit. But it's your opinion, your choice. Reach out to me. I have my Discord, I have my Instagram, and I have my business email all in my channel description. You can find it there. You sadly have nothing of this, so I couldn't reach out to you and give you this offer. But over. Now I did. I don't think you will see this, but maybe you will. And yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching until the end. The raw material is 48 minutes, by the way. I will cut it down to maybe half an hour or less. It's still a long time, I know. But a point that I'm going to say is I'm not earning any money from this right away. I don't have enough subscribers, I don't have enough watch time to even apply to be a YouTube creator to earn money from this, so I could even make a 2-hour video about you and I wouldn't earn a single cent for this video. That's the difference that makes us. I'm willing to make a long video like this to explain to you and everyone else what you did wrong and how you can change it. And I don't make any money off it, and I don't actually mind not making any money of it, amount of money out of it, because I'm defending or trying to explain to you something that is not very dear to me, but something with which I have fun with. Anyways, this is going to be it. Thank you so much, guys, for watching until the end. If you enjoyed, please consider liking and subscribing, and let me know your opinion about this video and about Fryguy's video down in the comments. And then I catch you again at the next video. Until then, have a wonderful time. I wish you all the best and the biggest skip in the learning curve to get as fast as possible, as soon as possible. I wish it all to you. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.